back to Create, Share, Inspire podcast. This is episode 453, and we are live in beautiful Southwest Florida, waiting on the sun to rise over the buildings and the trees in the east. And this is the Gulf of Mexico behind me. It's a beautiful, cloudy morning. The light from the sun that hasn't come up for us yet over the trees, but has come up for the clouds, has really lit up the sky. It's absolutely beautiful. Loving it. If you're joining me live, please say hello. Hello, hi Joe, hi Christine, hi Cynthia, hi Lisa, hi Bee, hi Harini and Carol. Thanks for joining me live, everybody. Hi Judy. Finally made it back down to the beach. We have decent enough weather, a little window of no rain. Hi Christy and Jane and Cherie and Carol. Thanks for joining live. Glad you all could be here. Hi Melissa and Annie and Mingma, Melanie. Hi Chantel. Got very chatty and active birds here this morning, so maybe Curious George is even with us again. Wouldn't that be nice? All right, finish my last stitch here. Hi Naomi and Chantel. Where are we? There. Hi Lily. Well, welcome back to Create, Share, Inspire podcast, everybody. This is episode 453, and we're live in Southwest Florida, waiting on the sun to rise over the buildings and the trees in the east. And this is the beautiful Gulf of Mexico behind me. Just love how the sun isn't up for us yet, but it's already lighting up the clouds. It makes such a beautiful background. Loving it. If you're joining me, I see a lot of people have joined live this morning. That's wonderful. Some of you joined live last night too, and I saw a lot more people watch the recorded version last night, so that's good. Hi Barbara. Yeah, I'll talk about what I'm crocheting in a second, Annie. Definitely, I'll show you what that is. Hi Sandshell. Yeah, so this is something that I talked a little bit about last night, a row stitch pattern. Harini, if you need technical help on a pattern, I'd be more than happy to help you if you would email me about it. I can't help with technical pattern problems while we're doing live broadcast, but I'd be happy to help in email. So I took a row stitch pattern and I converted it to an increasing square, so 4 increasing corners. You start in the middle. And so I converted that row stitch pattern into an increasing square, and then once it reached the right size, I'm adding a perpendicular join as you go rib edging to the blanket. So I started here and started with a row coming out this way, and as I go back and forth in rows, every second row is slip stitched to the last row of the blanket square. So I've made it not quite halfway around the blanket yet. Not quite halfway around. Yeah, maybe almost, because I haven't done 2 corners yet. So I'm almost halfway around. But it'll be super pretty when it's done. And for those of you asking, this is Be So Baby yarn in colorway mint. And Be So Baby is my number 3 DK weight yarn that is made from 100% milk fiber, and I'm using a size H8 or 5mm crochet, and this will be pattern that is available once I'm done crocheting it. The charts are done already. Are the charts done? No, the charts aren't completely done either. I'm working on it as I go. Does anybody have any questions about that now that I've explained it a little bit more? And I'll show you a little bit about the edging as I move along here too. Yes, it is a fun and bright color. I really like it a lot too. It's also a color that would go well with other colors. You could mix this with any of the pinks. It looks cute with any of the pinks. It looks cute with any of the other greens or blues. The silver color platinum is a pretty neutral with it. White is a pretty neutral with it. It goes really well with a lot of the different colors. It's pretty with peach. I was going to do some color work on this originally, and it really did look like most of the colors would have worked with it. It looks like a shrug. Yeah, maybe. Thanks, Lily. I love the color too. And like I said, it goes well with lots of other colors. I was debating actually adding Diva, which is the bright raspberry color. That actually looks super cute with it too. I was thinking about adding, then I was thinking about 3 colors. I was thinking about adding Diva, the raspberry, and Clover, the darker green. They look really cute with this too. Kind of like a watermelon theme. Good morning, Jill. Yeah, so if you're going to do a different kind of a project or figure out how you wanted to add color to this, those would be fun colors to add to it as well. And obviously white's always a good addition in color work. Hi, Pamela. Okay, so I'm working rows of half double crochet through the back loop only. And you know how we talked about chain spaces at the beginning of the rows and how you have several choices? For this one, I'm doing a chain 2 to count as my first stitch on this side of the rows. So with half double crochet, you can either do a chain 1 and not count it as a stitch, or a chain 2 and count it as a stitch. And so for this one, I did a chain 2 and counted it as a stitch, which gives me a looser edge. I'm trying to do this as a border, so loose and stretchy is definitely the way I wanted to go with this project. But if I was doing something where I wanted a tighter and smoother edge, I would do a chain 1 and not count it as a stitch. For those of you just joining now, I'm talking about a baby blanket that I'm working on. I did center in a square. I converted a row stitch pattern into a square. So when you see the pattern, you'll be able to not only make a blanket any size you want from increasing that square, but you could also end it at any point and make them join as you go motifs as well. And then now I'm doing an edging that's joined perpendicularly. I'm working the rows of edging in this direction, and at the end of every second row, slip stitching it to the last row of the last round of the blanket. Am I creating a baby book? Maybe eventually, yeah. Still too soon to, still too early to say what's really going on. Working on a lot of things. Okay, so now I'm at the end of this row, and so I'm going to slip stitch into the next chain 3 space on the body of the blanket, turn my work, and now instead of doing a chain 2 to count as my first stitch, when you slip stitch to join on this side of the row, you're going to skip the chain and work directly into the first stitch. And here's where it can get a little bit tricky, is recognize, whoopsie, didn't mean to bump that with my elbow. Okay, so this is where it gets a little bit tricky, because that chain space looks exactly like the stitches. It has that same V formation. Sometimes the chain is a little bit smaller than the V's, and this one is a little bit smaller, but not enough to really be significant. So what you have to do is just remind yourself that the first V is that chain, and to skip it, and a half double crochet in the back loop only of the next one without doing any chains to start. So we're going to yarn over, skip the chain, working in the back loop only of the next stitch. So of that V, you're working into the back loop of the V only. Yarn over, pull up a loop. We now have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on our hook. And now we'll repeat that across the entire row. So as simple as this is, the 2 rows are significantly different. The row working towards the blanket is chain 2, which counts as your first stitch. So you skip the first stitch and half double crochet through the back loop only in each stitch across. And then on the row working away from the blanket, it's slip stitch into a live section of the last round of the blanket, no chaining, skip the slip stitch, and work directly into the first double crochet of the row you just worked. And anytime I use this technique, obviously that's completely spelled out in the pattern, but it is something fun to talk about as well, because you may want to use this in any project, not just a project that you already have a pattern for. You could make this, an extra element on something you already made. Let's say you've made a hat from the top down and it's come to a certain length, and you're like, oh gee, I wish it was a little bit longer and maybe a little bit warmer at the ears, and you could add this type of a cuff to a blanket or to a hat. Christine, I have all my workspaces from my home. That's correct. I don't pay for extra storage space or extra office space. It's extremely expensive in my area, so I actually rent a home a little bit larger than I need to accommodate all of my workspaces, because it would cost me a lot more than that to rent other spaces. And because I work from home, it's definitely a lot more convenient for me to have all my workspaces close by. Are there any other questions about the edging? Would you like me to show you any other component of the edging? Whoops. Am I going to have new yarn soon? You mean new colors or new yarns? I'm not sure. I will have new colors of existing yarns available right around Labor Day. I'm still working on shipping out the sale orders from the Christmas and July sale. So I'm definitely have to finish that first before I can do anything else. Yep, I've used this edging on lots of things, Cherie. Cherie remembers this from the Jillian shrug. It's a lovely edging that adds a nice stability contrast to lace stitches. So it's something that I really enjoy adding to something that's otherwise lacy. It gives you a nice solid contrast, but also some body and stability to a project. I love the contrast. You make extra rows to turn the corners. It depends on what you've done on the previous rows, so that's a great question. On this one, I've already done increases in the last. There's increases on every other round of the blanket, so I already did an extra increase round at the end of the last round of the blanket. So for that reason, I did not add increases for the corner here. However, if that's not the case on your project, you absolutely want to increase in the corners. And so for this particular pattern, I'm slip stitching into each chain. It's all chain 3 spaces across the last round of this blanket. So for my spacing for the sides, the even sides of the pattern, I'm slip stitching twice into each chain 3 space, which each slip stitch counts for 2 rows. You go up, down, slip stitch, up, down, slip stitch. So I'm doing that twice in each chain 3 space. Now, if I didn't have increases already established in this corner, on the corner chain 3 space, I might double that and do 4 slip stitches in that chain 3 space, or maybe even more. And that's something that you would have to try and see if you like, and if it's not enough to turn that corner and keep your work flat, you might want to add more. But you want to at least double it. So in that corner chain 3 space, we would do 2 rows slip stitch, 2 rows slip stitch, 2 rows slip stitch, 2 rows slip stitch. So for at least 4, maybe 5 or 6 even, for that corner chain 3 space. Now if you're doing this and the last round of your blanket was double crochet, however you decided to space your slip stitches, you might have been slip stitching into every 3rd double crochet. If that's the case, you would still do double or triple into the corner double crochet. So no matter what your spacing is and how frequently you're adding your slip stitch your 2-row and slip stitch along the row of the straight edges at the corners, you would need to double or triple it. Now, on the Jillian Shrug, that wasn't required. That one was a collar around a shrug, so it wasn't required to add shaping into that one. That was easier. And if you were doing this for a hat, you also would not, that's just tubular, so you wouldn't need to add shaping, but it's when you're adding it on something that turns a corner. Oh, so if you're going to add this to a top-down shawl, let's say that you have a triangular shawl and you wanted to add this along the edge, you would add double at these 2 corners, and then you would add at least triple in the center corner and the bottom. And hopefully I'll have a pattern like that soon. Looking at a yarn right now to possibly add to the Kristin Omdahl yarn collection, and it would be a great yarn for doing that type of an edging. But we'll see. If that doesn't work out, we'll do it in something else. But yeah, doing that type of edging is beautiful on a top-down shawl, but you just need to make sure that you accommodate for the slight increase at the sides of the corner and the double increase at the lower point. Thanks, Pamela. I'm wearing, I think, just a clearance Marshall's dress, but I'm wearing one of my favorite cardigans from the Amazon shop. This is that cardigan that doesn't have any closure in the front, but because it's light and stretchy, I find it's really super easy to be able to tie it. And because it's so light, it's easy to push the sleeves up. Now, if it was cold outside, you could wear them long as well. It's actually kind of warm for this. I'm going to take it off now. But definitely, I have these in multiple colors, and honestly, I think you could use them in every color in your wardrobe. It's a great layering piece for spring, summer, and fall and winter. Thanks, Pamela. All right, so let's put the blanket aside for a minute, and I want to show you some other things. So, we've launched the 6th issue of Create, Share, Inspire notebook, which I'm super excited about. If you want to order it, you can order it on my website, or it's available in all of the Amazon markets all over the world. So wherever you shop on Amazon, you can get this if you're on Prime. Doesn't matter what country, it's available in all Amazon markets. And if you're in the US, you could also buy it directly from my shop. And I know a lot of you are familiar with my Redbubble shop. I've added this particular beautiful sunset photo to my Amazon shop. So you wanted to make like a really special gift for somebody, you could get them the notebook and a tote bag with the same matching sunset. Isn't that beautiful? So this comes in 3 sizes. This is the smallest size that's available on Redbubble. This is the 13-inch by 13-inch. It also comes in 15-inch square and 18-inch square. Then what else did I buy in the Amazon shop? I bought a few of the products. Oh shoot, did I forget to bring? I got a travel mug. The aluminum travel mugs look really great in this print. Maybe I'll have it tomorrow. I bought a couple of them, so I'll keep one and start drinking my tea at the beach again. Then the other, they have a new product there, and that is putting designs, your artwork on fleece blankets. And I bought the largest one. This comes in 3 different sizes. It's so big, I don't even know if I'll be able to hold it out for you, but here we go. Ah! It's super soft, it's fleece, and it has the beautiful print on it. I bought the largest size because I have a king-size bed, and I wanted to drip it over the foot of my bed, and it looks beautiful there. I'll take a photo of it this week and share it in social media so you can see. But it's so beautiful. It's more beautiful than I thought it was going to be. It comes in 3 sizes, so I don't want it that big. There are 2 other smaller sizes for the blanket as well. And then I also ordered it. Yes, this is the picture that I took. And then I had it printed on the chiffon scarf too. You know, those scarves that we like to crochet on the edge of and just wear because they're so beautiful. How gorgeous is that? So what I plan on doing is adding some crochet and beaded ties to these two corners here so that I can wear it as a sarong, because I'm just a little too tall for this as a sarong that ties around the neck style. Come back down so you can see. So for me, this is just a little too short for me to tie behind my neck. So I'm going to add 2 ties here with some crochet on fabric and maybe a little bit of beads, and make a tie so that I can tie it behind my back and have the prettiest sarong on the beach, in my opinion. I'm going to use Raven, Be So Fine yarn in color Raven, because I find that there's quite a few black notes in the water section of the blanket, but you could go with any of the purples, the golds. There's lots of colors that you could pick up on here, but my bikini is black and there's black notes in the print, so I thought black ties would be perfect for me. But you could do all sorts of colors with that. So that's another piece you can find on the Redbubble shop, and all of these are to coordinate the launch of the brand new Create, Share, Inspire notebook, Volume 1, Issue 6, which has 31 brand new quotes. Each book has a different collection of quotes, which I'm super excited to share with you. And each book also has different artwork for me. In this one, I've drawn some roses, which they have lots of faceted details in them, so it'll be a fun place to doodle as you're settling your mind to begin writing in your Create, Share, Inspire notebook. I've been collecting quotes, using them for motivation and inspiration, and writing in a journal for so many years, and I attribute much of my life success to this practice. And I've been doing it DIY style in, spiral bound notebooks and 3-ring binders for years. So I'm so excited to be able to put these books together and to be able to share them with you. So this is the 6th book in the series. Here are the other 5. So here are the other 5, and then this is now the 6th book in the series. Each one has a photograph of a sunrise or sunset from right here in Southwest Florida that I have personally taken. Does anybody have any questions? So you can find all of the products that I showed you today. You can find those in the Redbubble shop. There is a link to my Redbubble shop in the video description below, and if you still have trouble finding it, just leave me a comment and I will help you if I can. Does anybody have any other questions? Or, and if you need help finding the Create, Share, Inspire notebook, it's available in the book shop on my website, as well as in all Amazon markets all over the world. But if you still have trouble finding that, just let me know and I'll see if I can help. Hi, Kim. Let's see if there's any questions. Here comes the sun. Turn the camera, it's too much sun. Thanks, Cherie. I'm very happy with the way the photo turned out too. I love, if you only knew how many sunset photos I take. On any given day when I'm at the beach, I've taken at least a dozen photos of the birds or the nature or the sunset or the beach, and on a sunset even more. Oh, Kim, I'm so glad. Welcome. Glad you could be here. Hi, Edna. Benzie, the pattern for the blanket is not available yet because it's not finished yet. As soon as it's finished, it will be available. That's correct. No, I'm not near Hollywood, Florida. I'm on the other coast. So I'm as far south as Miami, but across Alligator Alley on the west coast, Naples. Ah, Susan's new from a different blog too. Wonderful. So glad you could be here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We've got lots of friendly people here, so you can join earlier in the podcast and join the free chat and meet lots of nice, friendly people. And if I answer your questions live, great. If I can't get to your question, please always feel welcome to repeat your question in the recorded. So the podcast is live. Then when it finishes, it gets converted into a recorded video. And at that point, you can post your permanent question there or your permanent comment there, and then I have the ability to answer from there as well. Sandshell's having a birthday today. Happy birthday! And if you check out the video description, I have links to all sorts of places where you can find me on social media, my website, where my products are sold, and usually links to what we've been talking about in the podcast. But if you ever have questions, always feel welcome to leave them for me in the comments, and I will help you. Or someone else. We have lots of very friendly people here on the podcast as well, so someone else might even help and answer your question as well. Yes, happy birthday to Sandshell. 60, that's wonderful. Cherie's birthday's tomorrow. Wonderful. Happy birthday, Cherie. Okay, so now, and you know, at the last part of the podcast, we go through and randomly pick one of the Create, Share, Inspire notebooks and then randomly pick a quote to share. Just for those of you that might be asking, I am not going to be including the sixth one in that segment for a while because the people that are buying the book, I want to keep the surprise for them of what quotes I've curated. When it's not new anymore, I will probably add it to the mix, but in the meantime, if somebody would like to pick a number between 1 and 5, I will randomly pick a quote to share with you today. Jane says 2. Here we go. So we'll go to issue number 2 and pick a quote. All right, I'm not sure how to pronounce this name, but I think it's Emile Coué, and it is such a great quote. Something great to say in front of a mirror if you're so inclined, or if it's something that you want to write down on a sticky note and put somewhere where you'll see it all day long. This is one of those mantras that would be great to say to yourself as many times as possible throughout any given day. So, how's that for an intro? Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. Honestly, if we could just remember to say that to ourselves throughout the day, whether we change anything at all, just by adding that positive encouragement to our day, we will improve our day. There's no way you can improve your day by saying that to yourself throughout the day. So I don't know, I think maybe a sticky note on the mirror so that I could read that, any of us could read that in the morning, or if you want to just right after the podcast, go run in front of a mirror and say this to yourself, looking at yourself right in the eye. It might be really awesome too. But thank you, Emile Coué. Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. Love that. I love that for me. I love that for you. And I hope that you take the time to spend a couple of seconds and just say that to yourself at least once today. If not, let's try to remember to say it to ourselves a couple times a day. It can't hurt. There's no way it'll ruin your day by adding that to your day. I love it. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes here with me. I hope you enjoyed the sunrise, the beach, the sound of the waves, the tutorial, the show and tell, chatting with me and everyone else here. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.